listen, I don't want to be too forward, but if you're not doing anything Tuesday, the 29th at 5 p.m. Pacific time, I would be honored if you would join me on cam, and not in like a weird internet way, like in a weird internet way, but not in like a weird internet way that would make anybody feel. I'm going to start over. We're having a patron hangout on the 29th. That's a Tuesday at 5 p.m. Basically what we do is everybody gets together, me and Jeff, everybody who listens to the show, we all jump on cam or on mic or on chat together, and we just hang out for a couple hours, and it's a lot of fun. If you want to join us, find out how at patreon.com/wehaveconcerns. I already know that, old man. Blah, computers.
Yeah, that kid is 57 now.
He's 57 years old now. This is We Have Concerns. Hi, Jeff Canada.
Hi, Anthony Carboni.
Hello, concerned citizens.
We got an interesting story sent to us from Jason Black. Jason Black! He's in the stack of stories that he sent. Don't send them back. Because I'm hot lights.
Hot lights?
Old night.
Where are you going?
I don't know.
Where are you going with this?
Singing.
You
Anyway,
went you went all the way up to Back in Black and then didn't do it.
I didn't do it.
You went all the way up to where you were going to say Jason Black and then you didn't do
I
it.
didn't do it.
Why?
I zag when you want me to zig.
But that's
Anthony.
not okay. That's fine.
Anyway, he sent this.
Why do the payoff? You know what I mean?
Right.
The payoff isn't the part anybody likes.
Everybody loves the setup.
Work hard and then never retire.
He sent this to wehaveconcernshow@gmail.com.
What a fantastic place to send stories. I would say, and this is just me, top three.
Yeah.
And just spitballing another two great ones. Facebook group, facebook.com/group/wehaveconcerns.
Yeah.
And subreddit, wehaveconcerns.reddit.com.
And then there's like 48 others on the list, and then Twitter.
And then Twitter, never over Twitter.
This is a story about tunnels. Evidently, there are some massive tunnels in southern Brazil, massive caves, and we've known about them for many, many, many years. In the 30s, they discovered these things.
Caves?
Huge.
We'd never seen caves before. And then in the 30s, some guy was like, yo, you got to get over here.
You got to look in this hole.
Yo. Come here. No, but come here, guys. Come
I got
here.
Stuff to do, Barry. Come on, buddy.
No. Come here.
I don't want to do this, man.
Look, I was digging.
Yeah. You're always digging.
I was digging.
By the way, let's not bury literally everything. Just because that's your name, I don't think you should be. It's not funny
It's a
anymore.
mnemonic device.
I understand that,
but
Barry.
listen. I was digging, and I don't want to hear about it. And look what I found. You would think that I dug this because it's a hole, but look at how big it is.
But Doug dug it, and Barry buried it.
I don't have time for this.
Sorry, it's very big. It's very big. It's huge.
Yeah.
And Hugh thinks it's huge. Hugh, don't you think it's huge? I do.
And then, keeping in the theme, we're just going to end before they actually get to the cave.
That's the first time they discovered caves.
It
took them a long time.
There was like 3 days of just going back and forth before they looked in and they were like, holy shit, it's like a giant, what is it? I mean, you could go in it. Yeah. Animals could be there. There might be water in it. I don't know. Well, what is that? Some sort of a crystal? What the fuck is going on under the ground?
Ceiling?
What is going on under the ground?
These are not your average caves. These are long, windy, gigantic tunnels underneath southern Brazil. And nobody knew quite what they were. In the 1930s, they found them. They thought they might be from ancient humans. Ancient humans maybe tunneled under the earth and lived there.
Yeah.
They saw, giant scrape marks all along the walls and in the circumference of the tunnels. And these tunnels were like,
so they were immediately like, because they saw these scrape marks, because they saw how huge the tunnel, like they were just like, okay, it clearly wasn't like underground water, underground gas, because these were carved. We see evidence of carving.
Right. So, from the 1930s up through the 2010s, thought maybe ancient humans,
probably vampires,
probably an entire vampire colony.
Probably just a colony of hot Brazilian vampires.
Yeah, the sparkly kind.
You know?
Are we thinking that they just gnawed at them with their vampire sharp canines? Or are we thinking that some sort of clawing was happening with the vampire? I mean, is that why you went vampires? Is because of the teeth or because of the claws?
Oh, I was just thinking underground caves. I mean, 9 times out of 10, vampires.
Oh, so you thought maybe just tools then? They like vampire brought a shovel.
I mean, look, I don't know how the vampires do it because I'm not a vampire.
Well, I just want to flesh out your theory here.
Yeah. But I'm just saying the number of times that I've seen something on the news about underground caves, like historical underground caves, and the follow-up story is, oh, don't worry, it was vampires again.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm used to it now.
You know what's really lame is that the big headline is we found caves. It's always page 3, page 4 where it was vampires all along. They always bury the correction. You know what I'm saying? It's always very unsatisfying.
And by then people have moved on to another story.
Yeah. Anyway, these.
So this was vampires.
No. Although kind of close.
As usual.
It turns out that starting in 2010, a geologist in the Brazilian Geological Survey decided to investigate these caves, and they call them paleo burrows. Paleo burrows.
Like that.
That's a new term. In fact, they interviewed some geologists, and they're like, "I've never heard of paleo burrows," but it's a pretty badass term.
Yeah, I mean, here's my thing. A paleo burrow is just a burrow.
Yeah.
Like deciding you have to coin a term, like it's an ancient burrow.
Paleo burrow.
Like, yeah, but you don't have to do that to other scientists.
Cool.
You just make other scientists look like dicks. It's like, oh yeah, so would you say, Professor, that this was a paleo burrow?
A what now?
You know, paleo, you are a geologist, right?
Mm-hmm, that's 3 different degrees behind me.
Okay, so paleo burrow then.
A what now? You're talking about the hole? We're talking about the hole that we were talking about? The hole that we've been talking about.
Yes. Look.
A paleo what now?
You are, I don't understand how I know more terminology about this than you do. It's paleo burrow.
I don't like these gotcha questions.
Meanwhile, like the reporter in his head is just like, did I get that wrong?
Yeah.
Am I saying it? I'm just going to say paleo burrow with more and more confidence.
Is this, did autocorrect change this somehow?
Yeah. I'm just saying, don't leave your other scientists out to dry like that. That's uncool. If you're going to coin the term paleo burrows, at least send like an email blast to the other scientists.
Heads up, everybody.
I'm thinking
a thing.
I'm thinking paleo burrows.
It's the subject heading is paleo burrows ?
Yeah, I'm thinking paleo burrows, and somebody responds. It's like, paleo burrows sounds kind of cool.
What about oldie caves?
Also, do you guys want to go bowling on Thursday? And then like the whole thing just got derailed.
It derails into bowling,
and it's like, guys. So where do we stand on paleo burrows? And then somebody responds, it's like, I can't do Thursday.
It's because
I just can't do Thursday.
Geologists love bowling. That's the thing. And they call it tossing the rock.
They call it
geologists.
they call it memento rock because it's like a speedy rock that goes down
memento rock.
Yeah.
Because it goes in reverse.
Yeah.
So like memento.
Nope.
So this scientist who wanted to investigate paleo burrows, he rules out the fact that it could be a geological anomaly. There's no natural cause for this thing. And he starts trying to figure it out. And he gets to the point where he rules out human intervention because he studies the scrapings on the wall. It doesn't.
Sentient drills.
You're going with drills that have gained the cognitive ability.
Yeah, it's self-awareness. Sentient drills.
So like ancient.
That's my sentient drill alarm.
Some sort of ancient tool.
Yes.
That
comes alive, probably via vampire bite.
Yeah. It lives forever. Has nothing better to do but drill a hole.
Needs to burrow because it's evolved as a drill to burrow.
You're going to be shocked to learn that was not the correct hypothesis.
Okay, but we're only at the hypothesis stage, though. So my theory is just as valid as whatever you're about to say.
This guy came up with giant sloths.
Paleo sloths? Or just regular kind?
Regular, giant, enormous, elephant-sized sloths.
Oh, paleo ginormous sloths. Which is what you mean.
Yeah, hugo sloths, which existed 8,000 to 10,000 years ago. And evidently carved giant holes in the ground in Brazil.
Now,
elephant-sized sloths that lived under the surface of the earth. This is the real hypothesis, Anthony.
Dial it back. Do we have any evidence of these giant sloths?
We have these giant caves
Have
with
we found-
sloth claw marks.
Have we found bones, fossils, anything?
No.
Remains of a giant sloth? Do we have any evidence of a giant sloth?
They say that they believe that the burrows were dug by either huge ground sloths that lived about 10,000 years ago,
Okay.
big as an African elephant,
Okay, great.
or
So these are things that are real. It's not a geologist who's, let me remind you, geologist is Rock Boy.
Rock Boy.
It's not Rock Boy going, I made up a sloth. This is a sloth that actually existed.
Evidently.
Okay. As long as Rock Boy doesn't think he can like stick his nose into sloth business.
I think they were called lestodons,
Hell yeah, they were.
and they're enormous. They were the size of African elephants.
I want to ride one to school.
And they lived underneath the earth. Is it the fucking craziest thing ever?
No, sloth is in tree.
Sloth is under making sloth hole.
Sloth makes sloth hole.
Yes.
Not in tree.
Not in tree. That would be a big ass tree.
Paleo
Can you imagine
tree.
elephant in
Paleo
tree?
ginormo tree.
I've seen a lot, but now
Horton here's a who.
Gordon here's a what?
He gets up in a tree.
Or they say if it wasn't giant sloth,
Okay.
you ready for this one?
Yeah.
Teams of armadillos.
Working together.
Yep.
In the night
Yep.
with a single-minded purpose.
Create giant hole.
Giant cave.
Fool everyone.
So much larger than a regular armadillo. You would think an armadillo just needs to make an armadillo size hole, but they
No.
all somehow in their
They
armadillo
stacked
hive mind,
Shoulder on shoulder on shoulder to make much larger holes.
they put on trench coats.
Yeah.
Paleo trench coats.
Went to work.
Paleo
Came home.
ginormo trench coats. And was there a monolith nearby that could have given them the sort of hive mind sentience that
They
they
haven't
needed?
found any monoliths.
Okay.
But these tunnels measure 2,000 feet long, 6 feet tall, and 3 to 5 feet wide. That's a lot of fucking armadillos.
Yeah.
That's like scores of armadillos.
Now,
Pants loads of armadillos.
how do they get it? They all just work together. They form into a circle.
Some sort of armadillo ball.
Yeah, some sort of, which they can do
Oh, that's
individually.
True. You don't need a friend for an armadillo ball. You've got that going on yourself if you're an armadillo.
What happened was one day one of the armadillos looked around and was like, no, not just me.
all
of us. And they all went,
What?
oh, shit.
This is the greatest idea I've ever had. Hold me.
all
said.
of us.
They must have dug out 4,000 metric tons of dirt to create just this one paleo burrow.
But there are many.
But there are many.
And
we
connect.
don't even know how many there are. We know that there are these in Brazil, but we don't know if there may be others under the earth that we have not discovered.
They are labyrinthine on the inside, you
Indeed.
say.
Indeed. So they've been...
What for? Just living?
I guess.
Just hanging?
They said that it suggests they had a pretty limited range because they all sort of connect underneath in southern Brazil. But it could be that there are burrows in other areas that we just haven't found yet.
Like a crosstown burrow.
Yeah.
So like what
There's
we
like
found...
5 burrows.
Yeah, like we found like the local burrow, like the local tunnel system.
Uh-huh.
But there's one that's like...
Well, there's one burrow that's really expensive now. It's been gentrified and it's really gone up. The housing prices are just insane.
Yeah.
You need an entire team of armadillos just to afford one.
Just to afford one.
That's why they all had to go to work in a trench coat.
Jeff, can I tell you something?
Please.
I don't think sentient drill is any more ridiculous than either of these theories.
Giant sloth, team of armadillo.
Lestodon.
Lestodon. It's just a picture of one. You want to see him. Lestodon. He's the big one. There.
Oh. So what we're seeing is, what's funny is this illustration uses this Lestodon, which I had never heard of until now, and puts it up against 3 other sloths that I have never heard of for scale.
But then
like,
also an armadillo at the bottom.
they don't put anything on for scale where I'm like, oh, okay.
The armadillo.
Yeah, but that's not a regular size armadillo.
Yeah, it looks like a regular size armadillo according to this chart.
Yeah, but no, Jeff, because how big is that sloth supposed to be? It's supposed to be a giant sloth.
6 to 8 armadillos.
So that armadillo has to be...
It's a relative scale.
That's what
chart.
I'm saying. Like, if you're the person putting together the illustrations for a scientific article, and you're starting with
armadillo,
the 4 things that you're trying to show for scale are like giant paleo sloth that no one's ever seen,
that no one's seen,
slightly smaller extinct animal,
yep,
Even smaller animal no one's familiar with.
An armadillo.
But not a regular armadillo.
It could be.
No, Jeff, because then the size that they're saying this sloth was can't be true.
Why? Because that's not. You're saying that's a giant armadillo?
Yes, I'm saying that's got to be larger than a regular armadillo. So, which is why I'm thinking that's not an armadillo. See, this is the problem. What I'm really getting at here, Jeff,
Yes.
and you keep taking me in circles.
Okay.
And I'm not getting enraged, but you keep taking me in circles.
Like a underground tunnel circle?
What I'm saying is, just, if I'm the guy making that figure, put a dollar bill in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Put a dollar bill or like a dog that I see every day.
Or like an empty beer bottle in the armadillo's hand.
Yeah, just so I know.
Just for scale.
Yeah. Can the armadillo like be holding on to like a can of Coke or something?
Yeah. Hilariously perched and looking like he's going to drink it.
Just something
Yeah.
that we all know.
Yeah.
So put it
or
on
like a person pointing.
Every graph that shows size should end with a Samsung Galaxy S8, an iPhone 7, and then
a Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, like just so I'm just like, oh,
yeah, I get it.
I get it.
You speak my language.
You can't go from one giant animal I've never seen to another animal I've never seen.
Yeah,
that doesn't give me any context.
Okay, so just so you're clear, this giant sloth
Yeah.
is like 4,800 iPhones.
No.
Yeah, in mass, not stacked on each other, but in mass, like a clump of 4,800 iPhones.
Okay, but now that you say that, that seems small.
They're iPhone 7 Pluses.
Okay.
And they all have cases.
But what case? Like a battery case or like just the regular case?
It's all battery cases.
But like different third-party brand battery cases? I can't picture this
None
sloth.
of them are ever losing juice. I can tell you that right now.
Can somebody put this up against like a Canon DSLR just so I know like what is the size of this sloth?
Are you not freaked out that
No,
there were
I
giant
can't
6
picture
feet
it.
tall tunnels with giant 6 feet tall sloths eating their way through the crust of the earth?
No.
Why not?
I mean, it doesn't freak me out.
What killed them?
If your question is why
aren't they here?
If your question is, does that freak me out? The answer is no. If your question is that dope? The answer is yes.
You know what this is? This is fucking Tremors.
But like,
That's what this is.
but like, ancient animals being gigantic is like the whole thing.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true. Everything ancient was larger.
It's just so huge.
Yeah. Bugs, birds, everything. Fish.
Not the original iPhone.
No, that was smaller.
That was smaller.
Because they thought that was a good thing. They thought miniaturizing it would be smart. Fools they were. Fools.
Yeah, so they don't know for sure that this is sloths, though.
No, it's either sloths or teams of armadillos.
Okay. Which one seems more likely to them?
I think they're leaning towards sloth.
Yeah, because a team of armadillos, what makes them think a team of armadillos would get together to do that?
Well, they've seen armadillo teams do, a lot of
like trivia night?
Night ops.
Yeah.
They pull off some sweet heists.
Yeah.
They do all kinds of crazy ops.
Uh-huh.
Like teams of armadillos do.
They get together and they adopt a road.
Yeah.
And they get out there and they just they work the same patch of road and they keep it real clean for their community.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that armadillos were such social animals. I think that's the thing is I don't picture an armadillo as being particularly social enough.
I thought they were loners.
Yeah, rebels.
Yeah.
And I just can't imagine them all working together, but I could have a completely incorrect picture of armadillos in my head.
I think you're being unfair.
I don't even know what size they are, if we can be honest.
Well, that's become very clear.
Guys, vampires, sentient drills, or I guess sloths?
What's the best theory here?
I guess sloths or armadillos?
Which one did we make up? If we hadn't revealed it, that would have been a good test.
Let us know which one you think did it. And if you're freaked out. I wasn't freaked out. Maybe it freaks you out. Let us know on Twitter. I'm at @Carboni.
I'm at Jeff Canada.
And you can hashtag those sentient drill. And hey, y'all, you gone to that Patreon?
that's really the place you should go because it's the only way we can even do this anymore.
I can't, and by do this, we mean get out of bed in the morning. We mean just live. Can we just live?
Please, can you just give us some money?
If you just head to patreon.com/wehaveconcerns. Not only can you listen to every episode there, if you are a patron at the bonus level, you get bonus audio, you get extra episodes, you get bonus episodes every time we have a guest that the normies, as we call them.
Yeah, we do call them that.
Which we respect you all. We love everybody who listens to this. But the normies don't get to listen to that stuff.
Yeah, there's extra stuff. There's early stuff. There's fun hangouts. Check it out. Patreon.com/wehaveconcerns.